Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider 2013 were both extremely dissimilar and divergent from the original classic games, but which out of the two more closely resembled the classics? You might immediately think obviously it's Legend, purely because Lara has 2 pistols and short shorts, but there's more to it than that. I'm going to go over the scoring system for criteria that I think matters, and it is obviously just my own opinion. When it comes to level design, the classics had non-linear levels with multiple paths, seeming dead ends, locked doors, dedicated artifacts, secret chambers, and some backtracking. You'd be motivated by curiosity to uncover what lies beyond that big locked ornate door. Legend was very linear and straightforward. The path forward is always literally just straightforward, with almost no requirement to get a bearing on your environment and unravel the layout. That terrible interactive DVD of Angel of Darkness offered more freedom and exploration. Non-linear and layered, complex level design is one of the most important things in a Tomb Raider game, and Legend absolutely fails through and through, so this is not similar to the classics. Tomb Raider 2013 offers a lot more exploration-based options in its level design. You have hubs with side areas, and even while small and piss easy, completely missable side tombs. If you stick to only the main story, it might be as linear as Legend, but you still loop back to hubs from new angles at later stages, which lightly echoes classic Tomb Raider's level design. And if you do go off the main path, you are rewarded with quote-unquote challenge tombs, which are fun and serve to strengthen Lara through skills and weapon parts, which is just a more indirect way of exploration in the classics, rewarding you with new weapons and powerful ammo. Legend has none of that. The closest Legend has to any of that is how collecting gold rewards can make her pistol stronger, so the point goes to Tomb Raider 2013. Legend 0, 2013 1. I always find the way different games handle controls low-key fascinating, from responsiveness to button configuration. The classics were based on precision. You had to aim your jumps with intention, judge whether a gap was too large or not for a standing or running jump, and execute, with some allowance for mid-air correction. Legend watered this down to one very small jump size and introduced sticky or magnetic ledges. You could aim imprecisely and jump way off course towards the ledge, and the engine will pull her towards it like that hoe in Nightmare on Elm Street. Apart from some #epic set piece moments, Tomb Raider 2013 completely ditched the auto-magnetization. It doesn't require as pinpoint accuracy as the classics, but you could mid-air steer again towards or away from a ledge with no supernatural force pulling you in one specific direction. There was still only one jump length instead of 2, but at least it was larger like the classics and not effectively just a bunny hop. This point definitely goes to Tomb Raider 2013. Legend 0, 2013 2. For combat, the classics mostly featured wildlife, creatures, monsters, and aside from Tomb Raider 2, would only sometimes be humans. Both Legend and 2013 fail at this enemy variety, both having 98% mercenaries, so I'll comment on the mechanics. Legend had auto-targeting dodge-based controls, whereas 2013 had manual targeting cover-based mechanics. Personally, I think the way Legend handled it felt like a modern version of the classic auto-lock system. Being able to face forward while running back, left or right just felt like a natural evolution. 2013's combat controls are very fun for what they are, and side note, I think handle better than even Uncharted with its auto crouch, 4 weapons on you at a time, each with secondary ammo, finishing moves, and more crunchy enemy damage, taken flesh piercing sounds. But Legends is closer to classic overall. Zoomed out with Lara in the middle of the screen, being able to run, jump and roll is more appropriate for the type of enemy encounters Tomb Raider should at least be going for, so Legend gets the point. Legend 1, 2013 2. So for Lara herself, we had classic Lara, who was pure cool and charisma, independent in nature and sought after danger and mystery after being disowned by her parents for wanting to pursue a life of adventure, who then built her own fame and wealth regardless. While masked by bad graphics at the time, she had depth, fears, a caring side, wit. She was short-sighted and clumsy, so she was a layered character, particularly in the later classics. Legend Lara's biography was rewritten to have her inherit wealth from her parents and follow her archaeologist father's footsteps, no longer playing purely for sport. That was the complete inverse of classic Lara. She still had some coyness, one-liners and wit, of which Legend was the last time in the entire series she had any sort of playfulness, but now with a lot more emotion and sentimentality. There was a certain warmness to her personality that just didn't gel with the character. I never knew about the developer change when I first played it and was struck with how different she was. She'd say stuff like,
"Excellent. Tell him he's my new favourite person.
And
Look at her. She's beautiful."
And I was like, who the fuck is this? You would never catch classic Lara saying stuff like that. Not a bad character inherently, just not Lara, sorry. I know a lot of people love this version and I'd encourage anyone to make a counter video if so. God knows there's not enough Tomb Raider YouTubers. Anyway, then 2013 Lara comes along and retains the whole following in a parent's archaeological footsteps after inheriting their wealth, but this time with even more intense negative emotions and none of Legend Lara's lightheartedness. This would have been fine if it was for the first quarter, but I feel like throughout she's whining, crying and being self-doubtful for too long. She has no even brief moments of likability that make me care or root for her. It's just one note throughout the entire game. Okay, she does become more determined at the end, but it's too little too late, and any coolness on display is suppressed by the startlingly bad voice acting for Lara, who became noticeably Americanized in accent and dialogue, despite being voiced by a British woman who moved to America, lost her accent, and was too shit and untalented to bring it back. Americans will disagree with that because they won't be able to tell when she frequently fucks up. English people are more likely to agree with that because we actually know our own accent more than a studio of Americans. So which character is closer to Lara? Honestly, they both suck arsehole, so I'm not going to give a point to either. I'm not the type to look at how dismal a take 2013 Lara is and then look back on Legend Lara and think, she wasn't that bad. Nope, she was still far and away unrecognizable as Lara, so neither deserve a point. Legend still 1, 2013 still 2. Now onto the story. This was the hardest to compare. I think Legend wins because it has dialogue that doesn't make me cringe nearly as much, and it has the typical find X amount of pieces scattered all over the world thing. 2013 does not have a true artifact that she's going after and has a low-end, badly acted B-movie vibe trying to be mature when it's probably the most goofy and immature of the series. It's trying so hard to be gritty, which is tonally far away from the classics, but Legend is, in a way, the other extreme by being such a dumbass cartoon. I don't think classic Tomb Raider was quite as Looney Tunes as Legend. While I think the tone of Legend was a bit too on the campy side, it's still more similar to classic than the cringy wannabe #gritty and mature vibe 2013 was trying and failing to go for, where they went so overboard they just ended up looking desperate. It was the most adult Tomb Raider but the least mature. Legend 2 2013 2. When it comes to the variety of locations, I do think this is an important aspect of Tomb Raider. In most of the classics, you'd go to another part of the globe every few levels, which makes it feel like a true journey. It heightens that sense of progression and provides some nice visual diversity. Legend obviously did this very well, almost too well, because you spend way too little time in each location and probably has the most variety in the series. Tomb Raider 2013 is all on one island and does have some environmental diversity through different regions, climates and weather types. They could have gone further with that. Just because a game is set in one location doesn't mean there can't be visual variety, but they didn't go far enough, so the point clearly goes to Legend. Legend 3 2013 2. As for the music, the classics had relatively short but very impactful and memorable orchestral tracks that would play at key moments to literally underscore that sense of progression and a new amazing discovery. 90% of the classic games, at least the first 5, would be ambient sounds, with that 10% of actual music being some of the most beautiful pieces and melodies. Legend went for ever-present, constantly looping music tracks, of which sometimes was even techno. This prevented you from being able to soak in the atmosphere. Honestly, next time you play the England level, turn off the music and voices. It is absolutely transformative. 2013 had probably more silence and ambience going on, but the music that is there is extraordinarily generic and unmemorable. There might be 1 or 2 brief melodies where it stands out as being actually good, but by and large the score is more bland and dry than a nun's clunge hole. While Legend does have some good actual music, the question here is about which handling is most reflective of classic Tomb Raider, and from that angle neither get a point. Legend 3 2013 2. So it turns out Legend wins in, apparently, my opinion, which I didn't expect when I started writing this. I do feel like controls and level design are so important they could both count for 2 points each, making it Legend 3 and 2013 4, but I won't do that. Regardless, I still feel like ultimately I definitely prefer 2013 as a game, full stop, and this just goes to show how arbitrary human emotions can be. I'd still recommend 2013 above Legend as being a bit of a better match for classic Tomb Raider. I suppose it's just a case of the individual parts of Legend are more classic, but 2013 is greater than the sum of its parts, which is why I still defend it above Legend. Let me know what you think. This is Seth Mackenzie, thank you so much for watching.